So let's wait for the participants to join. I can see people trickling in. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hey, Huang. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Monkol. Monkol, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. Hey, Chad. So as people trickle in, we're just going to take, just so everyone knows, we're going to take a moment for everyone to trickle in before we start going full on live. I can see attendees. By the way, this is a slightly different format where you guys have an open platform where we can actually engage in this conversation, and that's what's really important for you. So you might start to see lots of attendees join. Hey, Paul. Hey, Raymond. Great, great, great. Hey, Mohammed. Hey, Amina. Wait for a little bit more, and then we'll get started. Now, as you're coming in, it'd be also good to know a little bit about yourselves, like where you're at with your business. Firstly, you may be aware, of course, this is a webinar specifically dedicated for dropshippers. So, where are you in terms of your dropshipping journey? And it would be really interesting to know that. So drop it in the chat. Where are you in terms of your dropshipping journey? If you're, is this when did you start your business? What tools are you using? What course have you joined? Would be great to know that. Or for any reason, if you joined this and you just wanted to learn more, then I'm happy that you're here. But we're specifically asking questions and do want to know more about people who are doing drop shipping today, because we're going to reveal more about how our company Glorify has a keen interest within this audience, and hence we'd love to know more about that. So I can see Mohammed here. He's new in a dropshipping business. That's great to know. So you got one dropshipper over here. Anyone else in the dropshipping business? Hey, Kazi, welcome to this webinar. So again, as you're trickling in, tell us where you're from, what you do full-time, and tell us more about your dropshipping business. Would be really interesting to know. So guys, this is not a typical version of our webinars. Usually we have a larger group of attendees for kind of content on showing how to use Glorify and talk about more educational stuff. But today we're going to be specifically focused on dropshipping and how we'll learn more about people within the dropshipping business. So Ali Hussein is just started a dropshipping business from Pakistan. Fantastic. So two people from Pakistan that are starting dropshipping businesses. Great to know. Great. Okay, let's get started. So the first segment of this conversation, by the way, since it's a smaller group, if you do want to say something, you can go down, click raise hand on Zoom, and then that'll allow you to, we'll know then if you want to say something, then you can open mic, turn on your camera if you wish to tell us a little bit more about what your thoughts are. And it would be great if we do pose a question back at you, you can do two things. You can write them the answer on the chat to the question, which would be very helpful. But if you want to elaborate more, then you're welcome to raise your hand by clicking the button below on raise hand. And then once you've done that, we can answer your question. So we're not going to take any answers right now, questions, until we get into the content specifically. But until then, if you could, so I noticed Ali Hussein put his hands up. So if you can be kind enough to put your hands down until we ask specific questions, because we want to be very meticulous with our time and understanding about how we take in this information. So put your hands up when you've got something relevant to say to the stuff that we're talking about. Okay, so let's get started. So quick intro. Glorify has had a fantastic journey over the last couple of years. We've raised $2 million as a VC from VC funding. We've generated tons of users. We built a community. And initially, we started as an e-commerce focused design tool. We then started to go broad, and we pumped in a lot of our investment to make the tools broad. But what we realized is when we were trying to make the tool broad, we were competing with everyone, including Canva, who spent years and years developing their tool set. And only very recently, they've started launching. Within 12 years, I think they started building up video features and things like that. So it's a very challenging space, no doubt. And what we realized is we want to give more value to the users we were focused on initially, which is e-commerce users. And within that, we found that perhaps it might be more sensible to, give tremendous value to a subset within those users. That doesn't mean everyone will be excluded, but we want Glorify to start in a place that has focus and then grow from there, right? And this is, this is the advice we've received. So I noticed someone's just opened their mic. So I think Ali has opened the mic. So let me just make sure that participants can't open mic until requested. So Ali Hussein, if I could kindly ask if you could mute your mic until we ask you a question, be helpful. Yeah, thank you. So that's the intent. Like, we want to provide tremendous value in this space, and we'd love to get your thoughts and opinions, right? So to start out, what we're going to do is we're going to go and show you an exercise, and you're going to help us fill out this exercise, and it's called the value proposition exercise. So the first thing we want to start with is we want to try to figure out what are you guys trying to do, right? Now, just before we get into that, if you can kindly drop in the comments below, what is your dropshipping business about? How far in your dropshipping business are you? Have you started? Where are you at right now? Have you got your products? Have you got your store up ready? Why did you even use Glorify? Why did you buy Glorify for your dropshipping business? What was the purpose of it? What do you use Glorify for? Are you still using Glorify? It would be really great to know. So more about your dropshipping business would be great. Drop in the comments, when you come. So please do drop that in the comments. Do you use Glorify now? Would be really good to know. And something I'd really like to know, guys, is if you're using a course to learn dropshipping, if you're studying dropshipping, for example, what dropshipping course do you take? Dropshipping course. Did you take? Would be really great to know. So if you can kindly drop that in the comments to start off with, would be super helpful. We've got a Shopify store owner from Pakistan. So you got designers using it for Stephen, who's using it for their clients. So there's a designer actually using Glorify. So more about your dropshipping business would be really helpful to know. Okay, so I'm going to start calling out names. So I see Ali Hussein, you have a dropshipping store, which is fantastic to know. If I can kindly request you to open mic and tell us more about it.
Hey, sir.
Hi, Ali. How you doing?
Good, fine. And you?
Yeah, really, really well. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. So tell us more about you. Why did you start dropshipping?
This time is very critical, and next stage is online e-commerce business.
Okay, so when did you start dropshipping?
I'm start literally like Shopify.
No, when did you start? Like how long ago?
No, literally new.
You're new. You just new. You're starting now?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. How far are you? Do you have products? Do you have the online store yet?
No have store.
Okay.
I'm one person and teaching, but no idea like business models.
Okay. So how are you going to learn? How are you learning dropshipping?
Only any person give me money, I give you all product, two product, winning product, all days, money loss.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not quite getting you. Did you say, did you do a dropshipping course? How are you learning dropshipping? You learning dropshipping?
I'm starting learning,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
sir say to give me money like $200, and
Sorry.
I give you 20 videos and
Who,
listen.
so who are you talking about? I'm confused. Okay. Look.
Is
So
a
yeah. So I'm trying to learn more about people who are doing dropshipping, right? So if you have answers to this question, we can move forward. If not, we can go to the next person if that's okay.
okay.
Yeah. So if do you are you selling any products now? Do you have a dropshipping course you're taking? Are you using Glorify? Do you have Glorify right now?
Yes, I'm saying this ad, and I'm clicking your Zoom ID. Glorify same Shopify store. The change is business model.
Sorry, buddy. I'm struggling to understand you, buddy. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to move on, okay, just for the sake of time. But thank you so much for attending. If you have any other answers that you want to offer us, just please drop it in the chat. I'm gonna have to move on if that's okay, but appreciate it. So if I can kindly request you to mute yourself, we're gonna move on to the next person. Okay, so we got Mohammed from Pakistan. I have my own website on Blogger. Sorry, Glorify is a bit difficult. Okay, so Abhinav, you're saying Glorify is a little bit difficult. Are you a dropshipper? I need to know that first. I'm new to Glorify, just started exploring it. Perhaps I'll give a detailed review. Okay, King David, are you a dropshipper as well? So Abhinav is a dropshipper. Can I kindly ask you to open mic, Abhinav? I'd like to speak to you directly, if that's okay. Hello. Do you have your mic with you? Are you able to open mic? Okay, your English is, you're not familiar with English. Okay, well, you can write this down. Can you write down the answers to these questions? Let me do you a favor. I'm going to put this right here on the chat. Can you write down the questions? The answers to these questions will be really, really helpful. Okay, so next up, let me ask. Yeah, please take your time. Can I ask? I got Kazi Adibi. Is that, if I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right, are you a dropshipper? Chad, I'm not sure if I sell courses, books online. Okay, so I use Glorify. Okay, so Chad, that's great that you use Glorify to sell courses and create books online. My curiosity is that, do you use it for marketing, and do you use it for drop shipping specifically? Would be really good to know if you use it for drop shipping. Moving forwards, I'd like to ask, yeah, if King David, if you're just started exploring it, would be good to know, if do you use it for drop shipping?
No, not really. Actually, I'm an editor and content producer, so I've just started exploring it. So I'm quite new to this.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, that's interesting that you're able to, because we're specifically looking for people that within the drop shipping niche.
Right.
That's. I'm glad you're here for sure. I mean, do you know anything about drop shipping at all? Like
No, I'm just here to learn, so I can use it in future.
Okay, fantastic. Look, I don't know how much this will be useful to you. I mean, the future webinars will do more training materials, but today we're just trying to work out and do more of a research to figure out what people do with Glorify. So I'm glad you're here, though. Do stick around. If you have any insights to offer, we're more than happy to take that on board. Okay, great. So let's move on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it. So was that Kazi I think I spoke to, right? Or was that King David? Who was I speaking to just now? Was that you, Kazi, that I spoke to, or was that?
No, this is King David.
Oh, King David. Okay, great. Okay, so let me look for Kazi then.
Hi, Mark.
Hi. Hey, how's
Um,
it, buddy?
Fine. How are you?
Yeah, great. Are you a dropshipper?
Not really. I'm just trying to see how I can integrate my wife into that.
Oh, you
So,
want to get your wife into dropshipping?
yeah, so that's why. So if I'm getting her into it, so I'll be the one that will be managing it. But
Okay.
I'm just trying to engage her with something that's hard to what we're doing before. So that's all.
Okay, no, that's good news. Curious. So you, even though you're going to get your wife into dropshipping, but you'll also be part of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not relevant to you. You don't know, have you seen anything about dropshipping? Have you looked at courses? Have you learned?
I've seen several courses. I have some courses on Udemy, and
Yeah.
I have some other private classes on that.
Yeah.
And also, I try to see what would be would be the best product that she will be dealing with that will give me a kind of a little freedom doing my own things. So just to give her a little support in terms of graphic designing, promoting stuff like that. So
Right.
I have some kind of a training on Udemy. So, but sometimes some of them doesn't give you the kind of the real things that you need. They want to sell you most of the time. So
Yeah.
in that case, but the point was that you try to get into training for the purpose, but the purpose wasn't really kind of achieved.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a matter of telling you that, oh, you buy this software, this one will sort out this for you, this one will do this for you. But in most cases, most of them don't give you the what you really need, as in somebody that's just going into kind of that business.
Yeah.
Yeah. If to be for me, I think it's something that I can find my route through, because I've started exploring some other kind of applications, plugins that goes to the Shopify, where
Yeah.
they do the sorting automatically for you.
Yeah.
So, but I think I'm kind of in a real process of getting the real thing behind it, rather than some people telling you buy this and that. So
Yeah. So look,
hopefully soon.
if I could just pause you there for a moment, because I want to make sure that we get the relevant information. But I appreciate, of course, the what you're looking for is, of course, interesting for sure. But if I can just go back and ask you, you said you're looking at design, you're looking at courses on dropshipping in Udemy, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So based on that courses, what do you find that they're recommending when it comes to designing the store, like the banners, the images? So the main things, I believe, and guys, whoever's in dropshipping, help me and enlighten me here.
Yeah, in that area, they didn't really talk much about designing.
Okay.
All they talk about is your niches and the products, how you can go about the product that sells,
Yeah.
So those are the major things they're really talking about. They
Okay.
don't focus more on the graphic designing, how you can put your products, to catch the more customer for you. They don't put that on.
That's really interesting. And I noticed that in a lot of the course. So I really appreciate you telling me more about that. So branding. So if I was to summarize what you need in a dropshipping store, which is really critical for you to succeed, by the way, some of the most successful dropshippers in the world, if you look at some case studies recently that we've been looking at, there was a case study, if I can remind everyone, it was, let me pull it up again. The case study was by, I lost it. Oh yeah, so it was, I don't have it here, but yeah, Nico, I don't know if you remember the case study I put recently on our Slack before. I can't seem to find it, but if you do remember or have access to it, it'd be good to know the person if you know where it is. It might be in Slack somewhere. But to go back at what you were saying, Kazi, as far as I understand, like these are the main assets that you need, right? In a dropshipping business, you need branding, banners, product gallery, video, images, ads, and posts, right? And you also need to have on-brand copywriting. So this is really critical, right?
Yeah, but if you have to look into most of all these courses, some of them doesn't really mention all these lists you are putting down. So most of them will be only talking about the product, how you can find your niches. You know,
Yeah.
they don't really think about branding, but in aspect of branding, I believe I should be able to do something on my home and the
Yeah.
banner sort of thing. So, but in their own case, they don't put it as a big deal. It's like
Yeah,
the
I
only
noticed that. I noticed that in a lot of the dropshipping courses, they don't talk too much about it. But if I can ask you, if you were a child, so if you don't get anything from those courses, then what would you do? Forget Glorify. Just pretend Glorify doesn't exist. What would you do to get that done? Those jobs done. So all of this done. So you learn your course. You know you have to set up your Shopify store. You need a brand, you need banners, you need product galleries from the kind of okay-ish images that you get from your supplier. What would you do?
Sometimes if I get the image from the supplier, you know, the only thing I can do with that is that I have to use my graphics knowledge to make some edits and make it look more attractive, because I think I can do more of that. So
So when you say you're going to do that, what would you use to do it by yourself? So you said you do it by yourself. Are you a designer, by the way? Can I ask you?
Yeah, I do design too.
Okay, so would you consider yourself a professional designer, or you're someone that dabbles, like you're good at a lot of things, maybe like you try different things?
Yeah, let me just put it that way too, because I did a lot of things.
Okay, so you're good with did lots of different things, but you're not like a professional. It's not something you studied, graphic design and branding.
Yeah, I did the media, so I know much about designing graphics from Adobe.
So you did media? Did you say your education?
Yeah, no, when I was in college, you know, I was trying to get into some things. Out of curiosity.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, I found myself in the media class, which we have to work with Adobe.
Sorry to cut you off, but is it safe to say you're a dabbler? Like you like to dabble in things versus become a professional in this one thing, right?
Yeah, no, the thing was that when I started the IT, I started from, you know, kind of the networking stuff, other things. So lately I started seeing myself be on the marketing side.
Okay.
Side also, because I still have my major works that I'm doing, but I'm taking most of those ones like a side also, because more of now these days I do with the graphic designing, website.
Well, if I can ask you a really simple answer, if someone come to you and say, "Hey, what do you do?" What would you say in one word? Just tell me exactly what do you do.
You know, what we are talking about now, let me just put it this way.
No, you have to give me one word, my friend. I need
one word.
I asked you, I gave you one opportunity to tell me, what do you do? What do you do as a profession? What is your thing?
My main profession now is I'm doing the tech support.
Tech support. Okay, great. Okay. Now, if I ask you another follow-up question, are you a professional graphics designer? Can you give me a yes or no answer?
Yes.
Okay, you are. Okay. So you consider a professional. Okay, so then this is interesting. The insight you're giving me is interesting, but it's so you would use something like Photoshop and everything else to use it. Then why would you even consider using Glorify if you already know how to use Photoshop, if that's the case?
Oh, you know, sometimes, you know, you want to move around. Like before I started going to all this side also, I have a desktop with me that I use. I have most of my package there. But these days, I have a SaaS as a designing software. It makes easy for me. It makes it easy for me to walk around without even thinking about, oh, I need to be with my systems. That's another cool thing.
So you want more mobility. You want something that's easier to use, that's more accessible. Would you say, is your wife a designer? Because you said your wife is going to go into the drop shipping business as well.
She's not going to be doing all those designing, because even that's the reason why I'm sitting down here, like trying to get more about it.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about it, like sometimes, like, okay, she can be doing some kind of a cosmetics, drop shipping. She doesn't have to be doing the buying. All we need is just to set up the dropshipping store for her.
Can you answer the question? Is she a designer or not? Is she a professional designer? No. Okay, great. But then would she find value in Glorify if it was easy to use? I'm sure would she do it herself, or would you say she'd look for someone to hire, or would she use another? Like, what would you think her process would be? I mean, really, it would be great if she was in this call, but Is if you can answer, do you reckon you can answer this question?
In that case, if she needs to do something on that, I'll be the one doing it for her.
Oh, okay. So you'll be doing it. Okay. Like, if is there any position that you may think that she might do it herself at any given point? Like, would it be beneficial? Do you think that's something that you would consider? Let's say you set up the templates on Glorify and you have the files ready. If she needs to make a little bit of a change, would she rely on you, or would she do it herself, you reckon, on Glorify?
If I would say, I will actually from there, from what you just asked me, now give me an insight or something. So probably I might need to show her way around some basic things.
Okay, so you show her around a little bit, and then she'll be able to do some of it herself, maybe, would you say? Or
yes.
Okay, look, thank you so much, Kazi. I really appreciate it. If you have more insights to offer, just drop it on the chat, because I'm going to have to move on to some of the other individuals. I'd like to actually invite, you've been very insightful and very helpful, Kazi, I have to say. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it, genuinely. Walter Mitchell, if I can ask you say you have some experience in dropshipping. I'd like you, if you can kindly open mic, because I'd love to know more about you.
Okay.
Hello, mic is open. Pleasure
Hey,
to
buddy,
meet
how
you.
you doing, Walter?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Yeah, great. Thanks so much for joining, and I really appreciate you telling us a little bit about, well, so far at least I know that you have experience with dropshipping, which is fantastic.
Yes.
So let's go through these questions very quickly. So where are you with your dropshipping business? Have you started yet?
Yeah, I actually started in the dropshipping business, I want to say a year or two ago.
Okay.
And I've slowed down recently because I'm still working a 9-to-5 job, but the whole goal was to do it enough to where I don't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely have plenty of experience with it.
So you started when again? Exactly. So
I want to say 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And so how far have you come?
Just made a little money here and there, but not enough to stop doing other things, to put
Yeah,
it
so
that way.
like the margins are, I know it's low, you need volume, and it is challenging, but if it does kick off, it can really kick off for some people, right?
Definitely.
Okay, that's good. So what's your workflow? What do you okay, firstly, what products are you selling? Would be interesting to know, if that's okay. Or at least
I have a couple of different drop shipping businesses. One is like a general store, and another one is actually a shoe business.
Okay, cool. Have you heard that general stores were really produce great results, let's say 5 years ago, but they're not doing so well anymore, right? In the drop shipping
Oh
market.
yeah, I wouldn't actually use it as a main store for a general store, but kind of like a testing store, because it's all about the products.
So
It's
you
all
use
about
that
the
to like
products.
kind of test
Yeah,
product concepts, and then maybe you can like pick that and go roll with a niche like a
definitely.
yeah.
Because in the drop shipping industry, it's all about mainly online customers. And when you get a customer, let's say using your TikTok page or your Facebook page, they're going to have to click a link and go to a website.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to test with that is to just have them go to one of the links on your general store. If
Yeah.
not, you're going to have to make an entire store just for one product.
Yes, that makes
That
total
that
sense.
that that may not work.
I like the strategy. That's really insightful. I might have to interview for a podcast one day on Glorified to get this stuff. But,
Maybe one day.
yeah, maybe one day. I mean, but this is cool. So like, I want to ask you more. I'm going to drill in more.
Yeah.
What's your workflow? Are you a solo entrepreneur, or do you have
Yes.
people that you work with? What's your process?
Solo. I also would work with my wife, similar to the where the previous gentleman was saying. But for the most part, yes, solo. I do some outsourcing when needed, but for the
What
most
do you
part, solo.
outsource? What do you outsource exactly?
Well, I used to outsource the product images.
Okay.
Yes, and this is definitely before I got Glorify, and before I knew how to do a little maneuvering in Canva and different areas. But I was outsourcing to basically have the background on my images removed, the
Yeah.
backgrounds that I got from the vendors, and they would just remove those images and place more of a professional product image in the background.
Yeah. Okay, that's that. By the way, I just want a quick prerequisite. I should have said this in the beginning. Guys, everyone watching this, when you're dropping opinions, don't try to hurt our feelings, right? If you've got problems with Glorify, say it out as it is, right? So if you're using Canva, great. Tell me why you're using Canva. What's great about it for your workflow, right? So I appreciate that, you just, Walter, you just mentioned Canva and that you use that as part of your, so I want to dig more. So be as honest and open as possible. If Glorify has some terrible workflows that needs to be improved, we're open to hearing. That's the point of this call, right?
Sure.
So going back to that question now, so you said that you did some stuff, so you're outsourcing. So was it particularly the background removal? Like, what were you getting done for your outsourcing? Yeah, would be interesting.
It was particularly the background removal and a specific background that I wanted to have there. I basically was referencing the more professional and more established businesses.
Right.
And just looking at what
like a studio kind of look, like a studio background feel.
Exactly. Yeah. And actually more of a I want to say a realistic background. I was basically trying to make it look as though a background was there that isn't actually there.
That's interesting. So I want you to stick around because I want to show you something we've been working on and get your feedback on it. So please do have your patience. It'll be great to have your patience. We'll probably be continue this for another half hour, I'm hoping, depending on time. Okay, so just to go further in, what course did you take and what was their advice on this whole design situation?
I learned, I want to say, starting off with YouTube, like probably most people, and shopped around a little bit, and I found a particular individual that I thought was pretty genuine, and that was the only course that I looked at.
Okay, so you did mainly YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And what was the course exactly? Do you remember? Are you like
I don't remember the name of the course.
Was he famous, like some kind of influencer that has lots of success, and he was like, "Hey, I'm $1 billion dropshipper"?
No, not that big. He's definitely been very helpful to many people, but he's not. I wouldn't call him an influencer.
Why did you pick him?
Specifically because he's not that. You know what I mean?
Because he wasn't a guru. He wasn't a guru.
A guru. That's the word I was looking for. Yes.
So you were feeling suspicious against these kind of guru types, right?
Well, if you watch enough YouTube videos, you'll definitely start to figure certain things out.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so let's dig deeper. So what was the advice they gave when it came to design?
When it comes to design, let me see. Some of the advice that they gave was design matters. Your product quality of the images does matter.
Yeah.
And the quality of your videos does matter. Okay,
so how they expecting you to get it produced?
Let me see, got to think back here. Well, honestly, the vendors, whether they are in Asia or wherever you're getting your product from, they do supply pretty good quality pictures nowadays.
Yeah.
So what I was doing, I wasn't changing, I wasn't taking my own pictures. I was using the pictures that I was supplied, whether it was AliExpress or different drop shipping vendors. I was using the same pictures. I was only removing the background, but the product image itself, I did use that from the drop shipping vendors.
Right. Okay. And so they didn't particularly advise you on what tools to use?
No, definitely Canva. Let's see what else.
In the course, they say, hey, look, I recommend. Do they give you like a deep dive on how to use Canva? Or they say, hey, was it more like, okay, so you need to get your design done, the designs done. I recommend X, X, and X. What was the advice? Like, yeah.
Photoshop is definitely there. Photoshop, Canva, and I believe those are the only two, but they don't do a deep dive into exactly, what they did, but they do recommend those two.
So just a surface recommendation, right? Of Canva, Photoshop, no deep dive, right? Now, my question is like, did you feel you were left hanging? Like, okay, fine, that's helpful, but what the hell? Like, what do I do from here? How do you feel about that emotionally when you came to that step? Are you
Um,
confident? Do you know, okay, I got this, I know what to do, I'm going to use Canva? Did you have a game plan on how this stuff was going to work out for you, the design aspect?
I didn't feel left out because there's a difference between product images and advertising. Yes,
Okay.
those are two separate things. So when it comes to product images, those are pretty simple, pretty easy. Um, but if you're doing a product, and that's okay, let me put it this way. You can do product images for your website, but that's different from if you want to do an image ad, let's say on Facebook.
Yeah.
So for example, I've used Glorify for an image ad on Facebook, but I don't think I've used one for a product image on my store.
Okay, that's interesting.
Um,
What did you use for your
yes,
product image in your store then?
in my store then, that was when I got the background removed by outsourced agent.
Right. Okay. Have you used Glorify's background removal tool?
I think I've done it for, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Works
Okay.
great too.
And
Awesome.
what were you missing from that to, you know, then realize, hey, I prefer to outsource? Was it just time or yeah, what was
I actually had to supply the guy that I outsourced it to. I supplied him with a specific background that I found on like iStock and all of those photo
right?
websites. Yeah,
Interesting.
I actually, because I was
You didn't
cross-referencing between those and the different businesses that I looked up to.
you didn't want to just remove the background, but you also wanted to replace it with, like you mentioned earlier, like an actual high quality background that can resemble
Exactly.
a specific
Yes.
environment. So you wanted to almost create like a lifestyle piece.
Yes.
Okay, this is super helpful, man. I really appreciate it.
Mhm.
Last couple of questions.
Sure.
Just quickly in a nutshell, do you use Glorify now, honestly, and or you're not using it?
I do. I've just not recently. I've slowed down on all of my online businesses, so haven't had the chance to get back into it, but I can't wait.
Okay, and what were you using Glorify last for exactly? What do you remember?
For image ads,
Image.
image ads for Facebook. Yeah.
Okay, helpful. Okay, and do you use any tools in conjunction with Glorify, or do you feel like you can only use it? You only need Glorify in those instances.
Let me see. No, it was perfect for what I was doing.
Why did you choose
Uh,
Glorify over, let's say, Canva in those? Because you said you mentioned Canva earlier, so I'm curious, like,
I think, and I'm thinking backwards here. I think initially one of the main things that pulled me in was the ability to collaborate. I think that's you have a collaboration. I at the time I think it was Canva. It may have switched. You let me know.
sorry?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So what was your last statement? I missed that. So
Yes, I was stating that I believe does Glorify have a collaboration feature
so
with Canva?
we don't have a no, you can't collaborate with Canva, but you can
Okay.
what you can do is for example in Glorify you can invite teammates into Glorify and use it together, but not in a live
Okay.
format. It won't be live, it'll just be you can create projects and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I might have got it mixed up with one of the other softwares. But
Oh, that's
let me
cool.
see.
That's cool. Yeah, from what you can remember.
Initially, I believe it may have been. I think I may have even used a template and just did some modifications.
Okay, so template in Glorify was what caught your interest perhaps to or you needed it over Canva.
Over Canva, yeah, it may have been the templates. It may have been. Let me see. I'm trying to think back. I think I hopped on the AppSumo train.
Yeah.
I believe so.
That's absolutely fine. You know, by the way, this is really normal. Like a lot of people, they can't exactly remember what the workflow is because it was in the moment. So
Yeah.
anything you can give me is helpful. If anything, any more insights do come to mind, if you don't mind dropping it in the chat, would be helpful. But
Sure.
last but not least, would you feel safe to say that these are the things you need, or is there anything more for a dropshipping business that I'm missing here?
I think right now I'm looking for artificial intelligence when it comes to branding, banners, product gallery, dropshipping in general.
Okay,
Because
that's great that you said that. We've got something great to show you in the moment.
yes,
But
yes,
the assets, regardless of whether you need AI or not to get those done, The
Yeah.
output you need, the final output. Would you agree this is it, or do you need more than this? Is there anything else that's missing here?
Let me see, you got branding there. Sorry, I'm just taking a look. Branding, planners, product gallery, video, just ads, posts. Yeah, I think you got it all. I was gonna say video, but you got it there. So
Yeah.
that pretty much sums it up.
Fantastic. Really appreciate it. So this is your jobs to be done. That's really helpful. Walter, man, you've genuinely been so fantastic and so great. It's been super helpful. Thank you so much.
Sure, no problem. My pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank
do
you.
stick around because I do want to get your feedback on the AI tools in a moment. So that's the surprise.
Okay.
Be great
Awesome. Awesome.
Great. Let's go into someone else. Not go into someone else. That sounds wrong. Let's ask someone more questions. Arne, so okay, I would like to be able to turn the product image to the okay. So Arne DeVos, are you a dropshipper? Because I know you're asking questions, but I want to first identify, are you a dropshipper? Moby, you seem like you're a dropshipper. Let's missing the word of his background remover to replace with lifestyle background. Okay, I love that you asked for that to replace the background with the actual lifestyle background. You should stick around. Moby, you seem like you're a dropshipper. Can you kindly open mic, because I'd love to ask you some questions. And those people, if you don't get
Hi, Omar. Yes, I am.
Hey, Moby, where are you from? Where are you tuning in from, firstly?
I'm joining you from Houston, Texas.
Oh, awesome, man. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm excited to ask you questions. Just before I do that, I want to ask everyone else in the panel to look at these questions again. I pasted it before, I'm going to paste it again, right? So why can't I paste that? Let me see. Hosts and panels. You cannot. Okay, let me. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to send this to everyone. So I just sent the questions, guys, in the chat. So these are the questions that's shared in my screen. I want you guys to answer those questions. It'd be so super helpful. Why Glorify? What do you use now? What tools do you use before? What are you tools using? If you're not using Glorify, what tools are you using? We'd love to know this. What course do you take? And more importantly, what advice did those course sellers give you on design? We really want to know that. It's going to be extremely insightful, right? So let me know. Moby, how you doing?
Okay. Good, good. How are you, Omar?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining this call. Our team are eternally grateful to you, everyone who's joined.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
So let's jump straight into it. Tell me more about your dropshipping journey. Where are you? When did you start? How far are you?
I'm halfway into dropshipping, coming from the Amazon side after a few failed products. I'm still persistent. So I use Dropify, starting with FBA for product images and lifestyle and things like that for editing and for graphics. I used to outsource that to Fivers because the courses that I took were recommended Fivers. That's one of your questions. But then I found Glorify early on, became signed up, and I've used it actually for a lot of that. The background remover, as you guys improved it, I've also used that. But one issue I struggle with is I'm not good with Photoshop, and I don't like to jump around. So logo remover, like you can get pictures from AliExpress and stuff, but I have the logo remover. I always have to give it to someone to remove the logo, so I can they can put it to something, especially if I want to test something quick. I think that if Glorify can have something where you can like mask the logo that you get from the supplier and then replace it with whatever you want and brand it, that would be awesome.
So change an image to like an editable logo. Am I getting that right? So you got a logo.
So I get a picture. Yes,
Yeah.
you get a picture from AliExpress that has a logo. So I say X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah, like almost like embedded in Photoshop, for instance. You can hide that, and then you can put your logos, right, if you play with the layers. Glorify, if you can have something like that, it will really improve in the workflow and then the ability to really test things fast, because you can get a picture, upload it on Glorify, remove the background, or if you know, and be able to put your own logo, right, brand it to somehow to some extent, and then test it either via your store or as you're building your landing page, or even with Facebook ads, because your logo, if it's showing that it's related to your website, and then it kind of builds in that trust that people have. I think that's a tool that will help me.
will the original product have the logo on it, or would you how that look, or would it be like you're sort of just kind of embedding it in the design, right? So instead of using Photoshop,
Yes.
you'll be able to add the logo on the product. Is that correct?
Yes. Within Glorify.
Okay. Is part of the workflow removing an existing logo from the supplier as well? Do you have to do that too, or
If you can do that, that would be awesome. Or at least masking it or hiding it and then putting yours, so that it shows that it's you're like a legitimate brand instead of just drop shipping something. I think that will help. So going back to your question, so started about I would say drop shipping heavy really. I'd say about a year ago. Purchased a few classes on both Facebook and Google. E-commerce Scaling Secret by Alex Fedorov, and then
let me write that down.
100K Academy.
So the course you're doing is what? Sorry.
E-commerce Scaling Secrets.
E-com Scale and Secrets.
Scaling Secrets.
Okay, what's this community like? How big is it?
It's a pretty huge community. It's got a lot of high successful 7-8 figures people.
Okay, can you give me a rough number of how big the community is, like roughly?
I would say, let's see, I can quickly check that. I'm trying not to take too long here.
Yeah,
I'd say at least 2,000 people or more.
Okay, so 2,000 people in the community. Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
okay, it's not massive, because there's some communities that like 100,000, for example, with these crazy gurus, and but I like that number, 2,000.
Yeah, no, it's not that. I mean, the cost is
focus, right?
Some people know that.
And
It's at least 2,000. It's definitely more than 2,000.
Right, and you mentioned, so I remember, I recall you saying something about Dropify. Did you say Dropify or Dropified? Did you say that, or did I mistake? Was I mistaken?
No. So, Ecom Scaling Secrets by Alex Fedorov, and then 100K Academy by Charlie something.
So you done both programs? Why do you do both?
Yes, I have both programs because I wanted to not just focus on Facebook. I purchased a Google one. 100K Academy is through Google, and the design with that was basically finding a landing page of a brand that's related to the product that you're selling, and then take a screenshot and try to replicate it as close as possible.
Right. Sorry, can you repeat that? So take a screenshot and then replicate it to.
So like a full screenshot of a product that's for like an actual brand already that's in the same niche as you, and then try to really replicate the whole thing.
The whole product.
That was
the whole landing page.
Yes. And then with Scaling Secret, really, it's mostly the advice was either outsourcing it to Fiverr or using just like this simple product paragraph product. I mean, picture paragraph picture. They had some other template for funnels that for people that want to use ClickFunnels that they can adopt. But it was mostly about just it was basic, right? There's no like, the branding is not touched up much on branding. I think there's one person that go heavy on like conversion optimization and how to set up things and what elements we have there. But yeah, I think like I buy a lot online, but just because I like to see things, is what a person lands on your page, they don't have much time to decide to see if it's okay, this is wow, or this is like I don't know. Whatever. At least in my opinion, for me. Right. So
no, this is
so that's
no, this is really helpful, honestly. So I'm just going to go back to this, and so there's no deep advice, right, from what you said. There's no deep advice on design, right? Do you know about this guy, by the way? This is one of the top e-commerce success stories, and there's more that followed him. Chester Lee, basically one of the biggest things about it. He got it to about 20K a month, I think, and then he scaled from there. One of the biggest, and this is on Oberlo, by the way, one of his biggest reasons why he succeeded was because of doing a one product store that was highly branded, that, you
Yes.
really focus on product imagery. And that was one of the
Yep.
reasons in his own using good design to win over customers was one of the main things, which is,
Yes.
do you think that more people would buy into this? Like when you
Yes.
hear that messaging, you say, look, to succeed in drop shipping, you need better design. Would you click and agree? Or do you feel like, hey, maybe I need to question that? Do you understand the question?
I mean, you definitely need a good product. The product will sell, but like if you need good, it's always one of the things they touch on. It's a good product, because if the product is in demand, it will sell.
Yeah.
Even if you have bad ads, right?
Okay, interesting.
So I mean, not bad, worse ad, but like average. If a product, people want the product, they will buy it. You can have obviously good marketing, skyrocket things higher.
Yeah.
But design, I would say it's important.
Can I say something, guys?
Yeah, go for it, Nico.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, I'm seeing that, a lot of people are recommending like Fiverr. So the issue is with Fiverr is you don't have the control of your imagery. What does it mean? That, okay, you need something, you need to pay a designer that can do the images for you. But what happens if I need to change something? You need to always pay, or I have this conversation with a designer, right?
Yes.
For what? The thing is, for what? Because you are not doing something that is gonna win like an awards. You are doing something that needs to be to sell something, so it needs to work. So the thing is, with Glorify, as you can see, you can try to create your own images, and I think it's extremely important to do A/B testing with your images. Where if you go for outsourcing your images in Fiverr, or maybe you hire someone on Upwork, you don't have the control. So what happens is this: it takes too much time to create images, because you have this collaboration with a designer, and you are not focusing on the business itself.
Can I say something? Actually, right now, for instance, I'm selling jewelry that you can put a message on, inspiring messages, and then be able to market it with a male or female, right? So, and one of the things, speaking on Fiverr, is I'm paying somebody $10 every time I need to change, just because I'm not expert in, say, Photoshop, to go and engrave something in a metal that makes it look realistic, right? So it's $10 every time. It takes a couple of days. Versus if I have the photo, I take my own photos. I'm a professional photographer, but I'm not great at Photoshop skill where I can really make something that engraved that looks super fancy, right? So I pay for somebody to do that. So picture quality is there, but if I do it myself, somebody's gonna look at it like, this is not it. I don't trust this thing, I'm gonna just be upfront. So I pay for that. It's $10 every time, and I pay over a few $100 and you have to wait a couple of days versus, and sometimes then the logo issues. And like you're saying, you're not focused because you have to talk to somebody,
kind of waste of a lot of time on things that actually, that matters, but I mean, you should focus on the business. And also I would like to add another thing, Omar. That you said something about design and branding, etc. I mean, for me, it makes a huge difference in product. So the thing is, people are buying your product not because there are different factors. One is trust, and you build the trust through branding. So I won't buy something that I don't trust. And also, you are not just selling the product every time, even if it's like a small product. You are selling a status, you are selling an emotion. So because and that's the reason why I think it's crucial to have like a beautiful design for your product. Even if for your Shopify store, Amazon store, etc. if you do a really quick search on Amazon and check for top selling product, for one product, for example, can be even like a USB-C adapter, right? You see that the people that are selling
really
more
good
products are the ones that have a better pictures. The product, man, is the same. It's the same because you can check it on Alibaba and it costs like 0.39 cents. It's the same product, but the thing is people are spending more time on building their own brand. So, for example, not just the product as I think Kazi say, or Walter say something about that, not just removing the background, right? But even put some technical aspect about the product is extremely good because people, the thing is, we see a lot of information nowadays. We all agree that. So when I'm looking for a product, the first thing I would like to see is obviously the product, then technical aspect, and then reviews. So you need to kind of attract the attention in basically probably 10 seconds. So that's the reason why, again, design matters a lot, is crucial. And I don't know,
Yes.
I actually don't understand why a lot of these, for example, Udemy courses, etc., they don't spend a lot of time explaining why design matters.
I want to follow up on that because Moby, are you aware, and this is also a question to Walter and everyone who's doing dropshipping, are you guys aware of founder.com, Greta Thunberg, who's created like a powerful...
Yes, I've seen her ad come through, and then yes.
Yeah, so she focuses on like more longevity, like businesses that... So the interesting thing about dropshipping, it's like more like get started and get selling, right? Which is, I think it's a fantastic model, but very interestingly, like, do you feel like, what do you think about her course, by the way, like her journey of e-commerce? Is that something interesting to you, or?
I never read that too much into it, but I know I've seen her ads and how she like talks about taking different brand and then scaling them and then like longevity and stuff.
Yeah.
But my drop shipping can be done differently. You can start as a drop shipping and then you can always convert it to, if it takes off and it's really established, and then you have the Amazon private label space, which is a lot of people just buying stuff and then putting logo, right? And then you can even transition it towards going towards Amazon and then eventually somehow branding it if you want to improve on the product. So it can go both ways. If the product takes off, it's a promising that it's a product that is always going to be evergreen. Yes, and then you can private label it, put it up on Amazon, eBay, or if you want to go that route, and then while you're still maintaining the Shopify store.
So that's like establishing the business more. So I want to dig more deeper because I want to get through these questions, Moby, if that's okay. But going back to this, so you said, what are you using for Glorify exactly now? If you're using Fire, what are you using Glorify for? If you're not,
I've used Glorify for the main picture, like the head picture on top on my Shopify, like for the homepage. The logo, the main one I use template from Dropify that I modify, and then I'll put the product picture and replace it with the one I'm selling. I'll try to find one that's in the same niche or the colors. So I use it for that.
So image like product image gallery stuff mainly.
Yes, mainly. What I would love to be able to do with Glorify is, like, say if we had sections for like heroes, section for testimonial, section for benefit with icons, and then you can like create all this stuff and then combine them and look how they will look within Glorify. But not just that, because Glorify already gives you several templates, right? Like when you create an image and then you can populate it to see Pinterest, whatever and stuff, and test it with different colors. Incorporate the branding with that, with this section when you put them together, say color psychology stuff, like the color that matches. I think it will be, I will personally, and also portability. One of the only main reasons sometimes I find myself still using Canva is because sometimes I'm working on my phone, and I mean, that's that's maybe down the line. It's maybe something you guys are thinking for. But when I'm on like say laptop, I wanna make something that's more like I use the glorified templates. Canva, I use it mostly. I would take a glorified template photos that I've saved already, for instance, say in my drive, and then I'll upload it in Canva and continue working on it. But my go-to will be glorify if I could do all those things inside the software. I don't think I would go anywhere else. So that's at least my.
Right. So just to be clear, so the only reason you're on Canva is to have mobile responsive, or is there anything else?
Mobile, the app. I use the app. I use the app also. I use the app.
Okay. And just be very blunt, what do you hate about Glorify right now? Like, was there some things that frustrate you? It'd be good to know.
Yes, sometimes I find it's not always as like when I don't log in for a while, I log in, I'm like, okay, wait, where do I start? You know, it's not as
change a lot.
Yes.
Okay, good. And
sometimes I mean I'm saying this so that you guys can take it as a positive to see what you can
do it. You have to hurt our feelings. That's part of the process. Go for it.
Exactly. So that's the main thing. And sometimes I feel like, or maybe I don't know. I think that's
just say it.
It's not as I want to say, is it easy to use? Easier to, it's not directly sometimes like, okay, you gotta like, wait, where do I find this?
So it doesn't
But
feel.
I won't say it's easy. It's more complicated than Canva. It's
okay.
It's just sometimes if I don't use it for a while, and I know you guys have been making a lot of changes. Sometimes I'm like, okay, how do I know I used to know how to find this thing, but then it's just changed. So when I play inside, I find it. So but I think just the portability. And I think I've emailed you guys in the past because I was working on some stuff and I'm like, hey, all of a sudden I cannot see the screen because it's requesting me to be on a desktop or on a monitor, but that was addressed, I think. That's a while back. That's over a year ago now. Sometimes I log in on my phone and I have to move things around, but it's really painful to still work like that. But it works, you know.
Okay.
That portability, being able to do it on mobile, if it's a possibility, it will just make you can keep working on the go, you know.
Okay.
So
well, look, that's definitely something I would have put right down, but I wonder how we can actually execute it. But I'm going to go back and going to try and see if certain solutions that we're going to roll out are going to be good enough for you in terms of sorting out the complication part and things like that. But I'm going to go back to this. Do you think everything that you need for your dropshipping business exists here in terms of the jobs that you need to get done? In terms of design specifically,
branding, banner, product gallery, video, ad post. Yes. Copywriting, maybe not. Copywriting is needed.
Why do you think?
Oh wait, so like inside Glorify?
Yeah.
Or this is like the. I don't know. I haven't seen the copywriting part of. Within Glorify itself.
I'm not saying Glorify has any of these things. I'm just wondering what you need as a dropshipper. Do you need this stuff? Forget about Glorify for a second.
Okay. Branding, banner, product gallery, video, image, posts. Video, image, is that including like lifestyle pictures and stuff?
Yeah, all the product gallery stuff is like everything that you can.
Brand copywriting, yes. And then maybe sections.
What?
So like designing different sections of, like say, landing page, you know, like how you have a different section for testimonial, testimonial. Yes.
Okay, interesting. What else?
Product, the section where you're talking about like the features and benefits of the product, but you're using the icons, you know.
Yeah, so that's
like designing different sections of the landing pages and then being able to combine them, something like that.
No, that makes sense. So like what you said about features, it comes in the product gallery, which is call out, testimonials, mentioned, anything else that you feel like features, like feature icons, that kind of thing, right?
Feature benefits section, FAQ section.
Those things you do it in the actual website, like the CSS.
Yeah, you do it in the actual website. So I'm saying like one of the things, for instance, bringing you back to Canva, I know it's a competitor, but one of the things that they're doing now is like website, right? They have a website where you can put different sections. You can have, okay, this is the headline section, the hero, this is testimonial, and then you can take those things and combine them and be able to actually link it to say if you have a domain name chip or whatever, you can bring that Canva site to load, right?
You can create a website.
Like different.
You can create a website with Canva. That's what you're talking about. Like I know you can.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, you can create a website, but like if you look at it, it's different sections, and then it's like different pages. Say you click on one, it'll have like 5 different pages, but it's like different sections, right? So yes, that's
why is that
kind
valuable to you as a dropshipper when you already have like a Shopify store, for instance?
Because if you do even within Glorify, for instance, and you incorporate the branding, you know how sometimes when you create a design and then you can click playing with the colors, it gives you like different tones of colors. If you can do that within Glorify, I don't know, this is just personal, maybe it's not, other people think it might not be necessary, but if you can incorporate all these things and being able, and then you can always take it and put it in your Shopify page, right? Or you can take it if you're using, say, landing page, you're using whichever landing page, gem pages or a Pagefly, or even Shopify page itself, or say Zipify. You can take those pieces and then put them in order in your page, but the branding is there, the color is there, the logos, everything fits seamlessly. Like it's
right. So go from
somebody lands on that.
So like, if I can get this correctly, so you want to go from a landing page design on Glorify to and bring that to like example Shopify. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying? So you design the different aspects of your landing page on Glorify, and then you want the elements to go on Shopify. Am I correct in saying that, or am I getting it wrong?
Yes. Okay. No, that's correct.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, look, let's move on. This is super helpful. Nico, any other thoughts before we move on, or shall we go into the next parts, right? So I think I got all the pains, mainly. Yeah, so is there any other dropshippers actually in our participants? Thank you so much, Moby, by the way. You can mute yourself for now, and we're going to come back to you if we want to grab your thoughts. You can stick around, it'd be super helpful. We're not going to be much longer anyway.
Thanks, Moby. If Omar, can I say something about because a lot of people are mentioning Canva, right? Can I say something just for a reminder of our vision, or would you like to first finish this part and maybe we can show our features, and then we will give them like an overview of what we are trying to achieve with Glorify? Yeah, that'll be really good. So we finish this part and then we move into features and vision, right? Do you prefer? Okay, that's fine.
So do you want to do that now, Nico, what you said, or what?
I mean, really quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So because people are sometimes complaining that Glorify is too difficult to use. Obviously, it has much more features, and in my opinion, then Canva is much more powerful, especially if we consider what we can achieve with this kind of UI, where Canva is super simple to use. But the thing is, we are trying to make something that has a lot of features, it's really powerful for dropshipping, but also it's easy to use. That's the reason why we are trying to collaborate with you guys to get the information and make things, super simple in terms of UI. Because what for us looks, for example, simple in terms of UI and user experience, sometimes for users that are not designers can be extremely complicated. But the thing is, if we consider like the dropshipping model, if you something that already said before, if you rely on designers in Fiverr, or for example, if you create something in Canva, it's going to be really hard and difficult to scale. where our idea is you can start with Glorify and create images really, really fast. So that's the reason why we are trying to make the UI much more simple. And then what you can do is throughout the collaboration, hire designers or people that are into design to create the products. This is one vision. That's something that I would like to say, because I mean, designers, they are not really keen in, and they don't really like using Canvas. Why? Because it's not really a design tool, a professional design tool, where we are trying to create something that people like you, dropshippers and designer, are happy to use, and that can make images really fast and obviously professional images. So that's something that's a kind of a reminder of our vision. So Glorify is not Canva, and I think we are not even competitors of Canva, to be honest. It's a completely different thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think the idea is to obviously bridge the gap between non-designer and professional designer. And I think this is very important for you guys as dropshippers. Eventually, you're starting the journey by yourself, but you want to grow beyond that eventually, right? But we want to make sure that, as we're talking about, we want it to be as easy to use as Canva. So we do have some stuff that we're going to talk about today, guys. Stick around. I want to address one point. One of the pain points that was highlighted twice was, hey, I want to take a product image and be able to give it a lifestyle background instantly without having to hire someone Fiverr. We got something really cool, guys, that we're going to launch to. It's called AI background. So this is for Walter and this is for Moby and any dropshipper out there. The way this works is that you pick your product. So here's the product I'm selecting. I'm going to use the selected image that I've selected on my canvas. And this image you see has been sourced. I can add a prompt, or I can just pick a style and generate it based on that style. Let's go and generate it based on the studio thing with the rock. I'm going to generate the image. Takes a moment, give it a minute to generate, and there we go. So here is one AI version of that, okay? So interesting. AI, of course, needs a bit of smart training. So this is not the perfect version of that. We can try some more options. For example, let's try a living room furniture. And sometimes AI is hit and miss. Obviously, it's something that's constantly developing. So as it develops more and more, you can get something interesting. I'm not too proud of that. Let me try something with a different product. Maybe this product image is a bit kind of like hard to understand, I guess. So let me pick something that's a bit easy to understand, like this. So I'm going to use select an image here. So here's a product that I use, which is basically an what do you call it? A electronic. It's a power bank actually. So I'm going to use this time. I'll try. Let me try furniture again. Let's see if we get a good result with this. Okay, so here's the first version. Why is that a beach? That's a bit strange. Okay, it's clearly we're still developing it, but you guys get the point, right? So we're going to try one more version. We're going to try doing one with the studio background. See what we get this time. So one of the versions I did was, okay, so this one is interesting for sure. So it can be hit and miss, where of course still continuously developing this, but the idea is that you should be able to get almost anything if you work on the prompt a little bit, and based on that you can generate interesting results, right? So we're using an API actually for this. It's called Pebbly. They do fantastically well for this. Let me give another example. Let's try something like, I'm going to do a prompt this time. Sitting on a rock. Studio background. Sitting on a rock. Let's give this a go. And in the meantime, I'll also pick another. I'm going to take another product. So that one's sitting on the rock. I think it's probably the best one we've had so far. So AI is, of course, hit and miss. Depends on the prompt. It will continuously improve the prompt so that we get better and better results. But that is generally how the AI system works. I'm going to try one other product. So here's a product image of a bracelet. We're going to take this bracelet. I'm going to crop it up. And this time I'm going to take this and do the same thing, right? So let's give this a go. Use selected image. Let's try again, maybe a tabletop furniture. I want to give this a go again, see if we get a better result this time. So sometimes it's to do with the product as well. So that's more interesting. That's what I was hoping to get. Let's try an outdoor version. I think the categories are slightly mixed up, but I think, again, we're still just working on the MVP. We can see what we get here. So this one, way better.
Yeah, the second one is really good.
Yeah, this one was really good. We'll try silk and see what we get this time. Of course, it's AI is a new developing technology and it keeps getting better and better, but it seems like it's picked the same category. I'm trying to make sure that we choose. Oh, because I got sitting on a rock. Let me remove that prompt first, and then let's try to do that. So I shouldn't have had sitting on the rock because that's what it's trying to generate based on the style of the image. So boom, let's see what we get this time. So that one's interesting. It's supposed to be silk, but it looks like more like sand. We'll try a colorful. How about a pebbles environment? Let's give that a go. Ooh, that's interesting. It doesn't look pebbly. So yeah, I think the categories just need to be looked at, but you guys get the point in this. So that's the power of AI getting driven backgrounds. What do you guys think about that? What's your thoughts, Walter, Moby, open mic? Tell me what you think about. And of course, we're still developing the feature. What's your thoughts? Does it solve the whole lifestyle thing that we were talking about earlier?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is just, it's amazing. I'm so excited. I can't wait to use it.
Fantastic. No, I appreciate that. I'm really happy about that. Moby, what do you think? I don't know if your mic is on, by the way. I think your mic is off. I think Moby said, oh, he can't talk, but he loves it. Okay, great. That's good to know. Okay, so next up, okay, there's a lot of problems that people described as, being able to, the main problem that we had identified was that he doesn't have, he wants lifestyle images. Templates are already there. We're working on different things to automate this, more AI. For example, you just drop your product and it'll automatically create some images for you that will be working in the future. So for copywriting, those people that need copy, you can take this. Hey, I've got generate a 100-character title for a boutique bracelet product with wooden, it's like wooden beads, I think it's called, right? So let's try and see what happens here. We'll try 3 variations and boom, let's generate some images. So here we go. So for this, now you got copy for this wooden beaded bracelet, unique fashion accessory. Really simple, but it just helps you get through the process, right? So you can just take this and replace the text. Oops, let me just try that again. So you take this, select the text, and you can replace it with the text over here. And from here, you can just basically, just by clicking that, you replace it. You can do that too. So we're working on that too, to give more value. So just like that, you can get your copy done. So that's one problem. Video and animation, of course, I don't know if you guys are aware, we have video coming soon. But the biggest problem here, so we've got all these AI tools. We have copywriting and we have image generation as well. So if you want to generate something specific, I don't know if this is going to help dropshippers. Guys, anyone doing dropshipping, tell me if this is useful or not. It's just an image generation. So if you say living room, modern cyberpunk living room, let's see what we get. So I'm going to do that and see what kind of result we generate. So you got some pre-selections below as well to generate stuff. And where are we? So here's a modern cyberpunk living room. It generated that from AI, right? Is this useful for anyone? I'm curious to know how people feel about generated images. Last but not least, I'll pass it over to Nico to show us like what we're working on in Figma. Nico, would you be able to showcase that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, is that okay? Or should I start with the first bits and then you want to show the panel, or do you want me to go through?
Yeah, no, you can start and then I can show the panel.
Okay, fantastic. So let me start with the Figma panel then in that case. So guys, to see if you can see my screen, I'm going to go show you some of the things we're working on in terms of improvements. So you guys mentioned Glorify is getting complicated. Overall, it's pretty similar to what we had before. It's just that to access the libraries panel, you had to click this plus, And we also have more tools. That's the general idea. So I'm curious to know what people feel most complicated about. If you can drop it in the chat, what do you find most complicated about Gold Glorify? It'd be really interesting to know. Other than things moving around and feeling like it's missing, what do you feel complicated? Is this tool panel complicated? The edit and layer and pages never changed. It was the same all the time. So I'm assuming it's everything on this left side here. Do you not get maybe the video feature? Like you'll have to add a video, for example, to make the video feature work. If you add a video, you can call the video panel, and then once the video panel is there, you can actually press play, and then this becomes a video layer essentially can be played. We're working on animation, of course, that's not done yet. What's most complicated? It'd be nice to know. Okay, so they want to resizing, things like that. Okay, so you can resize from here. I guess those things maybe need to be more accessible. Okay, look, let me go and tell you guys, since we've got a lot of information already. We're working on a few things. One thing that we notice is like a lot of people don't understand that the canvas is a canvas. Sometimes people think it's a rectangle. Some people don't understand they have to drag it in. And what does infinite canvas look like? So we've made this easier by giving you guys a canvas widget. From the canvas widget, you can do core actions like rename the canvas, duplicate the canvas, delete the canvas, and download the image from the canvas, right? So I think this will be super helpful. Instead, right now, what we have right now is basically this, where you have the title of the canvas and you have to click the canvas to drag it around. And if something is outside the canvas, it doesn't get rendered in the image until it's inside. So the way you know it when it's inside is when it goes into the canvas. As you can see now, it's outside and now it's inside, right? So those people who get confused or not familiar with the process, we've developed this canvas widget to make it easier on the eyes. We also developed a detector for things that are outside of the canvas. So if anything's outside the canvas in the future, you'll have this outline saying, hey, this item on hover, you can see is outside the canvas. So don't worry, it's outside the canvas. You have to drag it in to make it inside the canvas. Once you drag it in, this orange container disappears. So then you know it's inside the canvas, right? Do you guys find this helpful? Is this useful to you guys so far? Let's drop it in the comments. Next up, we're working on what we call the canvas widget, right? So I appreciate that, King. The canvas widget is helpful in the sense that most people, I don't know if you know, but to get the contextual menu to do some core actions on an image, you have to right click. And when you right click, you can replace the image. You can set it as a background. I'm going to undo that. You can do anything from right click. You can copy, duplicate, send to front, send to back. There's so much function when you right click, but I think you can even add a URL to the image. I don't know how many of you people know that, but for those people who don't know that, you have to right click to get those options. We are including a canvas widget where you can duplicate, delete on selection of anything and access the contextual menu by clicking the ... menu. And from here, you'll have the same options available in a much more clearer context. Is this going to be helpful? The point of adding a URL is when you do a presentation mode or you download a PDF, you can click, the links can be clickable. That's why, to answer your question, Arne. Okay, so that's number one. If you find that helpful, great. We're also going to do AI smart background remove on selection. So if you select the layer, you can instantly remove the background by clicking remove background instead of doing it on the right. And you can select multiple images and remove the background at once, right? Anyone else of Dropshipper, I'd like to hear from you if you're there. Let me know more if you're there. It'd be helpful. I see a Paul over there. I can notice Arne. I can see Stephen. It'd be good to know if you guys are dropshippers. We're also working on batch processing, where you select multiple canvases, and when you select multiple canvases, the similar images in those canvases, you can see a Coca-Cola can will be detected, and you can replace and remove the backgrounds. On selecting multiple canvases, you can remove the backgrounds of all of those images or replace it all at once. So this will be helpful to batch process. And if the text layers have the same text inside, that'll be detected if you select all of them at the same time. If you do it on multi-select, you can go ahead and edit all the text in all of the canvases and all the designs at once in your infinite canvas. So the idea is that if you select these canvases right now, the only thing, if you guys notice, I can only edit a few things here, which is just color at the same time. So if I take this, I can edit this color all at the same time seamlessly without any problems. I can do it very, very easily. But what I can't do, as you can see, is I can't, for example, replace the images. I can't replace the text. So we're going to be adding that too, hopefully soon. And then finally, we have a new text panel which is more clear. We have borders to make it more visible. And we also have textiles, which you add in the brand kit can be selected in the textile section. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. If you want to resize, it's going to be more clear. We'll have a modal for all the different sizes that you use, including custom sizes. And we're revamping the modal for download to be more clear. So you can pick exactly what you need, whether it's JPEG, PNG, SVG, etc. So we've got a bunch of good fixes that we're releasing. Will this help you guys? Do you feel like this is fundamental to make Glorify a bit more easier? Let me know in the comments. It'd be good if this solves your problem. If it doesn't solve your problem, I would like to know. Let me know, guys. Great. So a lot of people are saying yes. People are quite happy with what we're bringing on board. Great. Okay. So it's been a long webinar. We're already an hour and a half left. I wish I could ask more questions to you guys, but you know what? For the 3 people that gave us a lot of insight today, really appreciate it. Mainly, shout out to Kazi, shout out to Walter, and shout out to Moby. Thank you so much for being on this webinar. What we're going to do, guys, all 3 of you, I'd like to stay in touch with you guys because it's very likely I'd like to send you guys a survey to just go further and deeper into how we look at Glorify. So I appreciate you joining us on this call. You know, in the near future, what I'll do is I'll send you guys a survey. If you can kindly check it out in your free time and send us a reply. You know, we're happy for anyone that wants to, any dropshipper that wants to reply to that survey. You know, it'd be really helpful in this call. So do let us know if you're a dropshipper, and we can send you the survey as well. But for now, we'll send it to Kazi and Moby and Walter. I think the last thing I'd say is that for those of you guys who know dropshippers, make sure that you know, you tell them about Glorify, and you know, it'd be great. I'd be highly grateful if you send them, if you make them join the Discord community so that we can have a conversation with them on Discord. Thank you so much. Can
I add one thing?
I forgot. Nico, you got to do the panel. We got one more thing to showcase. Nico, are you there? Hello? Okay, Nico is stuck. So Nico wanted to showcase basically one other thing we're working on, which is the panels. So we're making the panels much more easier to use. So
it's gonna be.
Sorry, Nico, you're breaking up, by the way. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I can show them. Yeah, so can you see my screen, guys? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, so basically what we realized is that this assets panel was a bit too complicated, and it was really difficult to differentiate the all sections. So in order to make everything much more faster, we introduced some images here and some colors in order to make those sections easier to divide. So it's going to be like much more faster when you go into the assets panel. So let me show you how this is going to look. Now the assets panel. I'm going to show you the prototype. So here are all these sections with my file section as well, basics where you can, for example, add images, backgrounds, color palette, remix, buttons, blow maker, and soon videos and audios. And also a section for your brand kit where you can add, your own logos, the text style, brand palette, brand images, and brand templates. This is extremely helpful, especially for dropshippers. And all the libraries that we have at the moment, and obviously the ones that we're gonna add in the future. Mosaic view and list view. So guys, this is being developed today, I think. So we are just polishing the UI, and it's gonna be live soon, man. So I think this end of the week. And
we also have dark mode, right? I forgot to mention, we do have dark mode. I don't know if this is something that's obviously people are excited about, but for people that prefer to work in dark mode, that's also available. as well. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention, you guys talked about problems, developing brands and things like that. I'm going to go back to Figma, my file over here, which was value prop canvas. I want to ask you, so we've done this canvas. You know what? I feel very conscious of everyone's time. So I want to quickly ask, Moby, do you have a moment? Can we take another 5 minutes with you, 5-10 minutes with you? I don't know how busy you are.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Look.
Sorry, I was talking to someone. I couldn't just interrupt.
No worries. Yeah. Look, would you say your pains are no design skills? I want to identify your pains. What are your pains? Would you say like the struggle?
Yeah, I'm not that great of it. Yeah, no design skill, definitely. It's a good one.
Okay, and what you need? You said you needed studio level photography, right? One of the things is like you need a background with a good background. That's one of your problems you mentioned before, right?
Yeah, like logo manipulations, removal, masking, was one of my big things that I'm paying for because I sell something where you have to change wording,
Yeah,
that's a big one, and I'm outsourcing that.
It was mainly Walter that said he wanted backgrounds for like studio level backgrounds. So you don't have problem with copywriting. That's not a big pain for you.
Well, copywriting, I'm relying now on AI also as well. A lot of it is AI and then just verifying. Yes.
Would you use the AI on Glorify if it's there? Would it be more useful than having to go bounce around when you're creating your ads? For
Definitely,
example?
yes. Then having to bounce around, it will be helpful. Yes, for sure.
Okay. Do you have any doubt and confidence when you create your assets? You feel like, hey, I don't know if this is going to work, and you're worried about that.
No, just because I've had some validation by using some of the glorified product images in the past. So I know those fine.
Okay, I really appreciate that because that's one of the that's the pain reliever that we wrote for doubt and confidence was templates thematic, and that helps people's confidence. So that validates that thought. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's stick there. Walter, are you still free by any chance? I want to kind of dig a bit deeper with you, if that's okay. I don't know if you're available or you have to run.
I'm available for a few minutes.
Okay. So let me ask you your pains. What pains do you have? Do design skills was one of them, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, it was more about the minute details. I think I forgot to mention something as small as shadows really matters. Just a small shadow on your product image can make a big difference between if someone is thinking that, okay, this is a shady website, or if this is a legit business.
Right. That's interesting. So yeah, we do have shadows as a feature in Glorify, and we have reflections as well. I don't know if you've used those. So we do have.
Awesome. Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. So those two features are there. I mean, let me just open one of our files and I'll show you. So like the shadow is basically if you pick any product, you can take this and you can go shadows right here, drop shadow. Or if you want to drop shadow, you can do it like that. If you want something a bit more realistic.
Yeah, man, you are not sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry. So sorry, guys. I apologize.
It's okay.
Yeah. So when you take this product, you can add a ground shadow as well, and you can set it up by dragging the X, Y values. So you can go boom, and then we can blur it out with this Y. So you can just drag these fields to do what you want, and then finally you can.
Yeah, that's great.
You can also add a reflection, which if you want a reflection, you can do that, and that you have the Y value, and then blur it out if you want, and then you can just do a bit of that, and you can get that. So okay, cool. I appreciate that you want that. I guess we need more training in that case.
Sure.
Studio product photography. What do you think of the AI? I think that was answering your question about studio level backgrounds and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
Yes,
I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you like that, guys. Do you have time? Is that an issue for you? Time is not enough time to do everything. Is that a challenge for you in terms of pains, or?
Is that for me or someone else?
No, for you, Walter.
As far as copywriting.
Well, for anything, no, copywriting and time in general. Do you struggle with that?
Oh, time is that's one of the biggest things. Like I said, I'm still actually working a 9-to-5 job now. So for me to run, multiple online businesses, and also have a family, and also have other things to do in life, time is the number one thing. I think I asked someone earlier that please let me know if you know anyone that's selling time. I'm willing to buy.
Yeah, I hope AI can do that. That'll be fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Do you have doubt and confidence in your work? So when you're doing like any design stuff, you feel like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work or not.
No, not really. I think if you can just compare with competitors, that's the one way to get better. It's an easy way.
So I want to ask both you and Moby actually. Do you find that what do you call it? Maybe if you had a framework, would that help? Like if we gave you content. So by the way, in Glorify, you can learn Glorify from just this education panel. Oh man, I went back again. So let me try and open Glorify again. I don't know why I did that, but yeah. So point being is in Glorify, if you open a video, you can watch it on the canvas. Are you guys aware of that? So
I was not aware. I would always go to YouTube.
I was not.
Yeah, so if you click this education panel, you can see guides, and if you open this, the video pops up here and you can watch it. Is that useful, by the way, guys? To learn?
Absolutely.
Yes. There.
Yeah, great. Okay, so look, I'm going to go back to this because I think branding and stuff like that, that could be. So we're planning of creating a framework. Like we're going to give you templates for branding, different templates so that you can use it for your own research document. So whenever we do branding internally at Glorify for different products that we work with other brands as well. We use a process, which I can't show you right now. Might take too much time, but we call it stylescaping. So it's a process of creating like a mood board and stuff like that to figure out what your brand's going to look like. If we created content on that, would that feel interesting? Would that be something you guys would be interested in developing a brand?
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, so I think all these tools would probably serve you guys then. That's the main thing. In terms of gains, if you got a great product, okay, what does it mean for you to get a beautiful brand and good product images, good ads? What does that mean for you? Like when you think about it, like what do you have to gain if you have those things in line? So I'll start with Walter very quickly.
It's very important. I actually don't think you can succeed with online business unless you have very good imaging and very good convincing imaging. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Okay, appreciate that. And Moby, how do you feel about that?
I think branding and product images are very, very important because the trust, and also it helps with add that to a good product. You're on your way to scaling, right? Yeah. With good marketing. So it's definitely very important, in my opinion.
So at Glorify, I guess those are the things that you can gain. I guess it's going to help your business grow. It's going to help you get more traction, go more results. So we have a brand kit to centralize your brand templates so that you can trust that you're going to get good content. We're thinking of creating a nurturing a community of feedback. So in our Discord, where if you wanted to get feedback on your design, would that be helpful for you guys? Like getting feedback from other entrepreneurs, or would you be sensitive in sharing that in case people might steal your idea? How do you feel about getting feedback on the community? Starting with Walter.
It actually can be sensitive. It actually can be because you don't really want someone to steal your product. It's not about the idea, it's about the product. Okay. So once you find a good product, you kind of have to give it your all before people begin to copy what you're doing. They'll copy your ads, they'll copy your image, they'll take your image. So it is. I do think it's sensitive.
So Moby and both you guys feel the same way, right? Would it be helpful if like if we created a platform, an area for expert support where it's our team instead of the community? Would that be more helpful to get feedback on your design?
Yes, I think I'll trust that a little more than just a community where you have other people trying to do the same thing, and I mean they'll take everything like Walter said, and
Yeah, and would that be useful if that's the case? If we made effort to actually create the support system, would that be useful to you?
Yes, for me, I think it will be.
Yeah.
Someone to check who's an expert or professional design and can give you feedbacks on, okay, these are some of the things I could work on, some stuff that you may not know that or even pay attention to. But yes, I think it might be a good thing.
Great. That's super helpful. Last but not least, do you think the infinite canvas is useful for your workflow? Like having all your images in one place. So if you have whatever campaign you're developing, you can have all your banners in one place. How useful do you find that? Starting with Walter, and I'll ask Moby next.
Yes, I think that's incredibly useful because at times we do work on multiple things at once. Like for a person like me that has different stores, but doing the same things with these stores. So that's just, I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, great. No, I appreciate that. And I think this is why we're doing it. Do you find any difficulties? You haven't used it enough recently, right? So are you familiar with the infinite canvas? Have you been using it?
Not yet. I'm going to get things up and running pretty soon, but I'll definitely give you feedback once I get back on it.
Great. Okay. And Moby, how do you feel about the infinite canvas? Have you been using it or?
I have not used it much, but I think it would be a good idea to have everything, to be able to see everything. I haven't used it much, I would say.
Okay, so you haven't used it much. One of the advantages, you can create a bundle and like add all the templates in one place, and then you can start editing from here. So that's the reason we created it.
Exactly.
That you guys can do all of it in one place versus having to go into like 20 files, you know, if you're creating a campaign, for example. Okay, so that's helpful.
Right.
I guess we had to figure out if the training works. I think that is it. Templates, product service, easy to use. What's the pain relievers? Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. I know we've gone really over time. Nico, are we missing anything, or that's it for today?
No, that's it. Yeah, maybe something you can say to them is, because a lot of people are looking for workflows, maybe we can arrange new webinars where we show some workflow in terms of image design for drop shipping.
Yeah.
So starting from the selection of the product,
Okay,
the image creation, and sets, etc., using AI or using templates, etc., until you actually export the image and upload on your website. I think it will be nice.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. I think it'd be fantastic to do that. So guys, we'll stay tuned with you guys. Next time we'll do like a cool educational sprint with you guys to get more out of Glorify. Guys, thank you so much for everyone to attend. All of you guys who gave us feedback. You really appreciate it, especially Walter and Moby, Kazi as well. You gave me lots of insight as well, so it was really helpful. And but thank you guys. Thanks for everyone also who joined and gave us the feedback on the comments. So someone asked, what's the main difference between Glorify and Shopify? Glorify is a design tool for graphics and videos, and Shopify is for your e-commerce store, which is completely different. Thanks, guys. All right, take care, everyone. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.